Welcome back to Family X Overland and our adventures of the TransAmerican Trail. So we have entered the TransAmerican Trail in Virginia. So far it's all paved roads, but we found this off trail. These are some of the best moments you can do with your children, just stopping, getting out of your car on the trails and just exploring. We are in George Washington National Forest in Virginia on the TransAmerican Trail. As you can see, this is the TransAmerican Trail. It is a paved road, not quite what we were expecting. The sights and the creek that run alongside this portion of the TransAmerican Trail are definitely worth the trek. However, we have been able to find some side roads to go down. These side trails are definitely worth exploring. Some of them were smooth and then other parts were very bumpy. Looking around this trail, you would never guess that this whole area had a massive wildfire in 2012. 8 years later, and you cannot tell. As we mentioned before, we travel with 2 young children, and so get your kids involved. To prevent our kids from trying to keep their heads in an iPad all day long, we ask them questions about what they're seeing around them. So when we're on these trails and we are not taking a break to look around or take a walk, we ask them to find wildlife. All day long they tried to spot a bear, and unfortunately we never saw a bear. But we saw so many deer, a couple wild turkeys, lots of squirrels. We even came across a snake. So if you travel with young kids, have them try to spot things. This trail has a creek that runs next to it, and you can either hear it or see it 90% of the time that you're on the trail. The kids loved that they could see the creek. And when we came up to this little bridge, we just had to stop and watch the waterfall for a few minutes. It's so peaceful and breathtaking out here. If you don't get out and explore, you'll never find spots like this. And there were a few places off of this trail that you could camp if you were prepared to. We had just planned a day trip this time and did not bring all of our camping gear. And now when you see these trails off the main road, some of them are marked with signs. This one was. And they have pull-in places. Some of them are just pull-offs off the side of the road, and you have to really keep an eye out for them. Always check your GPS to make sure you're still on public land. You don't want to accidentally cross over into private land and have any trouble. So make sure you have your GPS. We use the Gaia GPS system, and we've been able to identify public versus private land using that. So here's one that we would recommend, South Prong Barber's Creek. It was a lot of fun to go down it. We did air down our tires halfway through, and it was much smoother after we aired down our tires. So you can see Stuart back there is airing them back up before we hit the road. All right, what you doing?
So after we just hit the trail, we put the tires down to about 20 psi on all 4. I'm now going to pump them up to the street pressures of 35 psi just so we don't burn out the tires and cause unnecessary wear. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to put 35 psi on all four, and we'll continue down the asphalt trail.
The sound of the creek helped put the littlest one to sleep as well, so that's also a bonus. And while our youngest slept, our oldest had an announcement to make.
Be responsible because look at all this trash over here. You do it! That's it.
He's our little Cub Scout, and he was just so upset about all the trash he saw. Join us next time with Family X Overland as we continue on our trip through the TransAmerican Trail in Virginia. Don't forget to hit that subscribe. Thanks for joining us.